welcome back to my channel and to my kitchen. Today we're going to make a blueberry scone. I've never made these. I got this recipe off of TikTok, and the girl's name is Haley Piper on TikTok. That's who the credit will go for this. I can't link it. But I will put her name in the description box to let you know that that is where I got this from. And I've never made a scone recipe, so I am hoping and praying that this turns out good and I don't mess it up. So I'm going to turn you around and let you know what we're going to need. And I'm hoping this turns out, because on TikTok they look so delicious. So let's get to this and see what we need. Alright, I'm going to set my recipe here because I'm going to give a screenshot of this. I wrote it down. But for the scones, we're going to need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, but I just have regular salt. You need a tablespoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar. You need 12 tablespoons of cold butter grated, which equals 1 1/2 stick of butter, cold. 1 cup of buttermilk, which I still have mine in the fridge, same with the butter. You need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm using imitation, but I'm going to invest in some good vanilla. You need 1 egg, which still is in the fridge. I was going to dig it out, but I forgot. And we need 1 1/2 cup of frozen blueberries, which the blueberries are still in the freezer. I'll dig those out at the end so that they stay nice and cold. Now for the topper, the cobbler crumble, it is 1 tablespoon of melted butter, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. That's why the brown sugar is out. Then these are optional. If you don't want them on there, you don't have to put them on, but I'm going to try it. There's a vanilla bean glaze, and it is 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, or use extract if you don't have paste. That is why I'm going to invest in the paste, because I see a lot of people using it, and I did write it all down. And we are going to make sure there's nothing in my oven, and we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to move everything because I'm going to make it right here on the stove, and I'm going to put you back up on the tripod. Okay, in this bowl we are going to I have the oven preheating to 350, and this time I am going to scoop out my flour. So this time I don't use too much flour. Oops. Make a mess. One. I'll just clean up my stove when I'm done. I'm really making a mess. That's okay. There's the 2. 2.5 cups. Flour. If we're not done with it, we'll need it. And now we're going to add in the baking powder, which is 1 tablespoon of the baking powder. Mix that in. Set that aside. Then we need the salt, which is 1/2 teaspoon. Grab out. So here's the teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I could have omitted the salt because my butter is going to be salted. Now we need 2 tablespoons of the sugar. Just wipe my spoon off here from the baking powder. Sorry, here, we'll do this. Oh. I got this for my husband for his sugar. We're gonna have to refill it. And there's your 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then give this a mix. Okay, now with the cheese grater, we're going to 12, so it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Grate the butter into this. And all I got on mine is the bigger setting, so like I said, on hers, she had it was in smaller, ouch, grade. So hopefully this way works. Told my husband I need to get an electric grater. It's very warm in my house. My butter is starting to melt already. Put paper in there. But I don't want my hands to be all buttery. temp. Trying to get all this butter. Now you want to get this butter off there. Take and get this all coated with the butter, the way I could describe it. You don't want to have no clumps or anything like that. Like I said, I've never made these before, so okay, I got that butter. And I'll be back after I wash off my hands. Okay, in another bowl, I just grabbed the bowl out of my cupboard. We're going to mix, excuse me, in a separate bowl, we're going to mix the buttermilk, the egg, and the vanilla. And then we're going to pour it into this mixture. And you might need some more milk. So, there's our buttermilk. Pour it into our bowl. Now we're going to add the vanilla, which is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Egg, and now I have to fish out some eggshells. Great. Hopefully that was it, just one piece. Note to self, next time, put it in the cup. So we're just going to give this a lightly mix. And then we're going to pour it into our butter mixture. Usually I don't make things with buttermilk. I have, but I've never made scones before. She used her hands, but I'm gonna give it a light mix with, and you want this to just mix it till it's all combined. Like I said, you might need some more milk, but we'll see. Then we'll add them, to get this all combined, we'll add the blueberries. Let's see, I didn't need to use no more. Okay, now I'm going to get the blueberries. We're going to just a moment. All right, I had to look for them. So the half. Well, I used up something in my freezer. So now we're going to give these a mix. And then we're going to put them on our parchment paper. And then we're going to use a scraper to cut them. These all mixed in there. Let's get this over. I'm just going to use my cookie sheet, and we're just going to plop it. I stuck my water in my recipe, it kept blowing over here. Try to get this all out of here. Okay. There, it's sticky. I don't think hers was so sticky, but okay. Wash my hands off here. Just gonna get a little bit of flour on my hands to try to get this. I guess it's good enough. Wash my hand off. Now we're going to take this scraper and score it. Like she said, you want to cut it like you would for a pizza. Then we're going to put this in the oven for the first 20 minutes, and then we will see about it when it is at 20 minutes. Don't mind the pug, you know how she is. Now we're going to put this in. 20 minutes. And I'll be back after 20 minutes. Alright, I almost made a boo-boo. Okay, we need to make the topping. I already stuck this in, but I took it out real quick. But I'm making the topping, which is the crumble. It is 1 tablespoon of melted butter, 2 tablespoons all-purpose flour, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay, while that is in the oven cooking, I am going to make the glaze. So we need half a cup of powdered sugar. Don't mind the pug. She knows it's time, getting close to her dinner, her lunchtime. Need 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. When I was waiting, when I put that in the oven, I'm like, let me go back and look at her TikTok and make sure that I'm doing everything right. And I didn't. I forgot to put the crumble on, so I had to pull it out. And hurry up and make it. I'm going to put it back in. I don't think I missed a step, but powdered sugar, tablespoon, vanilla. But you can see it's not coming together. So I might just use a little bit of water. Or I'll try some milk. Well, I don't have nothing. Still awful thick. So just a tad bit more water. Like I said, I would add milk, but I'm out. I had to go get the buttermilk because I didn't have no buttermilk either. There we go. And now I'll just leave that sit until the scones are done. Alright, I just took it out of the oven. Mine didn't get golden brown on the top, but it is hopefully done because it was in there for 35 minutes or something. So I'm going to let it sit here and cool. Then I'll put the glaze on and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, I just wanted to come on to let you know what I thought of the blueberry scones. They're delicious. They're better when they're warm, but they were delicious and I'd make them again. So, like I said, I will leave a screenshot of the recipe and I'll put in the description box who the recipe, where I got the recipe from and her name. She's on TikTok. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. So you can subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.